As I was preparing for debate for school, I realized that at the end, arguments are all about whether you make a good argument or not. Like literally, you just find the weaknesses of the other part of the other side, and you attack it while completely disregarding your flaws, the flaws in your argument, in your belief. Like technically it's not a belief since it's just for schoolwork, and I don't actually believe in it, but I should like pretend like I'm a prosecutor of this client for this weak client against the other side, which I think makes much more sense. But since I need to protect it, I need to use all the researches and the sources that my professor provided for us to defend it and attack at the same time, so that our side wins. And you might just say like it's just how all the arguments work. I mean, it's just how the world works, even in the politics. Like that's just the way it is. But if you think about it deep enough, you just realize that at the end, when like being right, like one side being right or wrong doesn't matter in that sense. The side that has more articulate, more people who are skilled when it comes to arguing and debating wins, disregarding the fact that it's a very weak argument and it's a very weak philosophy to stand on. So it really is all about skill. It's not about actual fact, like whether it's right or wrong. So at the end, I think it was Bacon who said about the situations back then when he was living in, but everyone's just arguing constantly without anything being solved. I think it was Descartes. My bad. So it really is stupid in a sense, but also I think there's no other way to argue other than like the arguments that we have, like the way of arguing and debating that we are using, kind of the curriculums and systems that we are using right now in our generation. Like how else are we gonna argue about whether one belief is not superior, I'd say, but rather worth following than the other, rather than making arguments and counter arguments about the other beliefs, the other side. So I guess it's just the way of nature. Like it's just the way it should be. The other thing that I want to talk about is society really rewards, especially in our generation, the society rewards those who is really good at pretending. It kind of also overlaps the topic that I was talking about prior to this, like just pretending that you're defending it and actually being the person who's is solely like firmly believing in that ideology, even though you're not. Like that's exactly what you have to do when you're debating about an ideology. So I think like the meaning that I'm trying to say about society rewards those who are good at pretending is that it's kind of how do I say contradicts, it kind of contradicts to what I believed and what I said in previous videos about authenticity is the greatest virtue. The kind of like audience and people are instinctively and naturally kind of pulled and appeal to someone being authentic, being real them, like real themselves than trying to copy others. But also that has a flaw because I like there are so many people who genuinely feels like they are being genuine and truth about themselves and being real, just like being real them and like trying to be authentic. But at the end, those who can pretend to be authentic tends to get more credits and gets more acknowledged by the audience than who are actually authentic. And and also I think it's all about skills, like how you portray yourself and how you present to the audience while being authentic, but also maybe you should pretend, maybe, like, I'm not really sure, but I think at the end, like, maybe, like, the conclusion what I got from this thinking is that you got to find the balance between, maybe it's all about balance at the end of the day, but maybe you should, maybe like me, those people who are also watching this video have their friends and families, and you guys very possibly, like, very likely, you guys are also pretending to be someone, the persona that you've been building, you've been building for years without even you noticing, and you're kind of that person inside their head, so you got to follow that persona even while not really actually being aware of it or not and realizing it. So whether it benefits you or not, in order to be successful, especially on the internet, or be acknowledged by others, you should mix pretending and be authentic well. But at the end, those who goes to the top class, like the top of the mountain, pinnacle of all, is those who manipulated and be delusional, who manipulated themselves to the point that they are being delusional, and believe that they have this firm belief that they are being real. But actually it's like, if they just give it a thought, like question a couple of actions or things that they said, and there are so many contradictions, as you could see, like in among so many politicians, or one of the, like, people who are really good at speaking, like articulate people, lots of podcasters, and Jordan Peterson, like they all made so many crucial contradictions in their career. But I don't know, like, I don't know the aftermath, like, I don't know if they actually addressed it after that. But I think it's just a common thing at the end, like you can't be consistent while also being firmly agreeing on one side. Maybe that's why Jordan Peterson isn't Dr. Jordan Peterson isn't, like, admitting that, or kind of siding himself in whether he's Christian or not. Also, like, so many other things that I want to talk about, but I don't want to, like, mention their names, since, like, I don't know them in person. So maybe pretending might be a short-term method to get more audience and be be like be considered as being successful. But at the end, you also need to be real you, because you got to keep on going. In order to keep on going, you can't keep on lying to yourself. It's gonna accumulate and become a huge burden inside you and pressure. So, like, you're gonna lose yourself, or you can just manipulate yourself into believing that the persona you've built is actually you, but that's not healthy. So I wouldn't recommend, obviously. So yeah, back to the main discussion, main topic. Arguing got me, like, kind of fed up in a way, since a couple of classes before that I had about, like, debate. So basically we are debating every single week, and this is like third one, no, fourth one, yeah. And it's kind of I'm kind of sick of it, in a sense, since it genuinely makes me feel like I'm a prosecutor of this client, that I don't even believe in what this dude's saying, but I should just stick to it and trying to win this argument, win this match. It's as if genuinely it's just like kind of playing a game, competitive game, or boxing matchup, like martial arts. Like, actually, like, you just need to win the opponent using the circumstances, and let's say physique or champion, let's say in league term, like the things that the skills that you have and what other person have and what other person has, and you gotta kind of predict what they're gonna bring up about yours and what I'm gonna bring about them, but like they can make counter argument about this stuff, so I gotta prepare for them. So just like this is not the kind of debate that I was thinking about. Maybe I was just too naive and didn't really thought through about what an actual debate would look like, what an actual debate would be like. But it's kind of I'm kind of disillusioned in a sense. Um, it really at the end is about LARPing. LARPing, yeah, LARPing. I keep forgetting pronouncing all. Um, you pretend to be someone for long enough and you become that person. I think that's just the way our human brain works. Like I think it was Dr. Jordan Peterson who said something similar to this. You be careful on what you're thinking because you'll end up being what you think and what you do. So even if you might just think that it's just your thoughts, like you don't actually do something, you consistently do it and you are that person. Like your thoughts, you kind of become delusional and you forget that you this is just a thought and you become that thought. I don't know if I made sense, but that's just I think that's just how our human brains work. So you can kind of like use this method into believing what you believe to be truth is actually truth. So actually I just wanted to talk. I also wanted to talk about this in other videos about like I admit my hypocrisy. I genuinely believe I have my own religion. I mean, not the kind of religion. Okay, I sounded like a cult leader, but I think what I believe to be truth about this universe, about this universe, and how absurd this real life is, and we gotta detach ourselves into believing that things other than just this reality matters. So you gotta stick to those things that like meanings and purposes, family, friends, so that you can get to survive actually like being alive rather than just ending yourself. So like these kind of all the frameworks and the things that I think about, the opinions that that I have toward religions, conventional religions, and other beliefs are, I think they just converted into a huge clump of ideas and belief that I think it's just something that is kind of a religion for me in a sense. I wouldn't say I wouldn't say it's a better cope because I believe everything is a cope, and that's also belief. So like it's my own religion, and maybe I just have to pretend enough to for it to be truth, like actually be truth, or I might have already been pretending for long enough that I genuinely believe that it's truth. So I'm just keep questioning things about my own beliefs and things that I'm doing recently. And arguments suck. Like I mean, debates suck. Like genuinely, I don't like debates. Maybe I'm just being way too pessimistic about arguing, but especially school debates. Let's say maybe the outside world, like real debates, when you genuinely believe in that and you are on that side of um you believe about idea and you are willing to defend it, and you are willing to not defend it. I don't like that term actually. Not defend it, but rather question it. You show your belief to the world, like this is mine, this is how it works, and this is how I interpret it. I mean interpret this universe, this world, and I believe because of the following reasons that I'm stating, I believe this to be truth. So you can counter argument, like you can make counter arguments, and you can tell me about what your opinions are about my belief, and you like genuinely just like what's yours and what this is mine. So come on, like I'm willing to be educated, I'm willing to learn more stuff, and I'm willing to question my beliefs. I think that's so beautiful. Like it's the kind of debate and arguments that I was willing to have in at school, but it's just not how it goes. So so yeah, I think that kind of those kind of debates and arguments are very solid and worth going for, worth trying. And it's so I think it's not like the kind of debates and arguments that we genuinely kind of value, and we don't even talk about these kind of things among families or friends, or do we? Maybe it's just that I'm way too isolated that like I don't even know what they're doing, like what like what the usual families and friends usually talk about. But as a person who had some friends and some kind of connections with my family, uh, like you really can't talk about these kind of things. You're considered as a weirdo or just being delusional or just not living the reality that they are talking about. So I think it sucks, but yeah. The takeaway of this video isn't just me ranting about arguments, but rather the truth, the virtue of debate and the way I want school debates to go, like the path, the direction that I think would be much better for students to learn how to debate and how to defend, how to actually question their beliefs rather than just defending it mindlessly as if we are prosecutors of that belief.